kiddos, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Kelly. We're back to travel to a new time period.
Today we'll be learning all about United States history.
It all started when the aliens landed on the coast of what we now know as Florida. They landed in the Everglades, which is a giant swamp. They realized they really didn't want to live here. So then
Kelly, what are you talking about?
The history of America?
I don't know where you got your information from, but that is definitely not correct.
Well, if you're so smart, then why don't you tell us what really happened?
Okay. Well, first of all, a lot of people think America was discovered by Christopher Columbus, but really humans had been living here for like 30,000 years before he came.
The aliens?
No, mostly Native Americans.
So then why is Christopher Columbus so famous?
Well, he was the first one to come over from Europe. He landed in America in 1492. A little over 100 years later, England sent over the first people to settle and live here. That was in 1607. They settled in Jamestown, Virginia.
So if they were from England, how did we make our own country?
Well, most of the pilgrims that came over from England were trying to get away from the king because they wanted more freedom. Fast forward to 1775, and they started the Revolutionary War, which is when they fought and won their freedom from England. That's when we really became our own country.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of the Declaration of Independence.
Yep, that was written by the settlers in 1776 to declare their freedom from England.
I just assumed that was written by the aliens too, but I guess not.
Well, a lot has happened since 1776, but there's no way we can cover it all in one show. We're going to share some of the big stuff that has happened between then and now.
Why don't we travel all the way back to Pilgrim times and then work our way back up to how America is now?
Perfect. Let's get going. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Oh, yikes, that makes me car sick every time.
Car sick?
I mean, time travel machine sick?
That works. Well, I'm glad we made it. Man, things look so different here.
I know, look at their cool clothes.
Funny you should say that, Kelly. We've got Kaylee standing by ready to talk about how fashion has changed throughout American history.
Awesome. Take it away, Kaylee.
Hey guys, today we're going to see how clothes have changed over time. Starting with pilgrims in 1620. Women wore long off-white short-sleeved linen shirts called a shift with a ribbon tied at the collar. They also wore ankle-length flowy skirts. Men usually wore a long short-sleeved off-white linen shirt with a collar, baggy pants which extended to the knee level, and the socks were knee-high. Women and men both wore hats. Next is pioneers. Their time was between 1760 and 1850. Boys wore shorts and pants made of cotton or buckskin. Girls wore skirts or dresses, usually made of brightly colored cotton, called calico or gingham. During the 1920s, the men wore three-piece suits, very fancy. And the women were called flappers because of the dresses they wore. Their dresses consisted of fringe, bedazzle, and it was knee-length and very flowy. Jumping all the way to the 1970s, women during the 1970s wore granny-style or hippie-style dresses, bell-bottom pants, and graphic t-shirts. Many dresses only went up to knee length. Men also began to wear low-rise bell-bottom jeans and platform shoes. 1980s fashion relied heavily around bright colors and vibrant things. For both men and women, the waistline of pants was high, messy hair, neon colors and makeup, and big hoop earrings were very popular. This decade's fashion was nothing like any other year's. Women were very excited for the change. For men, denim jackets and jeans, as well as corduroy pants, were popular. For women, turtlenecks and high-waisted pants were once again in fashion. Wasn't that awesome to see all the clothes people have worn? There is not really any normal fashion when it comes to clothes these days. No one wears the same thing. It's awesome. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed flying through fashion of the decades with me. Let's come back to talk to Joe and Ethan after a short commercial.
Hey there, have you ever heard of snake oil? Well, this snake oil comes from the finest of snakes and has amazing properties. It can make your hair grow 50 feet long. It can cure any illness. It can get you super strong. And it makes you super tall. Come on down to my snake oil cart to get a little sample and to get the best snake oil in the new country.
Today, we're going to be talking about bells.
Bells? You mean like this bell?
No, not like that bell. The Liberty Bell, which is right behind us. But before that, I have a joke for you. Why do cows wear bells?
Why?
Because their horns don't work.
That's very funny. So why are you talking about the Liberty Bell?
Well, the Liberty Bell is an important part of history. Or it will be history.
Wait, doesn't the Liberty Bell have a crack in it?
Yes, it does. I guess we landed back in time before the crack happened.
What else do you know about the bell?
Well, it was made in 1751. Do you know why it was made?
Wasn't it for some birthday or something?
Yes, it was made for the 50th year anniversary of Pennsylvania's original constitution.
I have a question for you. Do you know what the bell stands for?
No, I don't. What does it stand for?
It stands for unity. I have a question. Back in our time, the bell has a crack. How did it get that crack?
Well, people don't actually know. Everyone agrees that the bell had small cracks in it, but the big crack that stopped it from ever ringing again happened on George Washington's birthday in 1846.
That's cool. Since it's not cracked right now, can we ring the bell?
Sure, I don't see why not.
Oh, did we do that? I wonder what day it is today.
Well, whatever day it is, I think we should probably get out of here before anyone sees us. We'll be right back with Elizabeth and Kelly.
Whoa, that bell is super broken. That's not good. They have to ring, and I don't think it can ring like that. Well, I guess it's a good thing that I'm a bell repairer. Hi, I'm Liberty, and I fix all sorts of bells. Church bells, jingle bells, sleigh bells, bells, any bell you can think of. I'm the one fixing it. If you come on down to my bell shop, your bell will be able to ring throughout the whole country. I can even fix this huge one. So come on down and fix your bell.
Welcome back, kiddos.
We're going to do a little bit of a different segment today. We're going to talk about when some of our favorite foods came to be.
Kelly, I love sliced bread. When did they start doing that?
They started selling sliced bread in 1928. Isn't that crazy?
That is so crazy.
I love popsicles. When did those start?
I think you mean Epsicles, named after the man who made them, Frank Epperson. They started in 1905 when he accidentally left soda outside in the cold and made a popsicle. Super wild.
That is wild. Can you imagine just accidentally making a popsicle and forever being famous because you accidentally made them?
Yeah, that would be way weird.
Did you know that H.B. Reese invented Reese's peanut butter cups in 1928?
Kelly, how would I know that?
Okay, good point. Well, I think it's so cool that he made those because they're my favorite.
My favorite candy bar is the Almond Joy, and they started in 1946, so a few years after yours.
Wow, that is so neat.
Yeah, I love food.
I agree. Well, I think that is all the time we have. We will be back to end the show in a bit, but for now, let's go to Kaylee for her wellness tip.
Hey guys, today I want to talk about honesty. Honesty is a big key in life. Imagine that you broke your parents' favorite vase because you were playing soccer in the house. When they come home, they ask for an explanation. What are your choices in this situation? You could tell them that you have no idea how it happened, or you could be honest and tell exactly how the vase was broken. Many times in life, you may be faced with the choice of telling the truth or telling a lie. Sometimes those lies might be extremely tempting. You might want to lie so you won't get in trouble, or in some cases, to avoid hurting other people's feelings. No matter what the situation is, being honest and telling the truth is typically the best choice. Why is it so important to tell the truth? Well, in general, you want to be known as someone who is trustworthy. A person who is trustworthy can be counted on to tell the truth. If you look at the two words that make up the compound word of trustworthy, it makes sense. Telling the truth makes you worthy of someone's trust. You want your friends and family to be able to count on you at all times. If you lie often, people will begin to question the things you say, and they may not believe you. In fact, they may think you are lying all the time, even when you are actually telling the truth. Telling your parents you didn't break their vase when you did is definitely a lie. Sometimes you may be faced with situations where you might want to tell the truth, but you exaggerate it. This means that you talk about an event that actually happened, but you change or add details that didn't really happen. Telling the truth is always so important, so don't forget to always be honest with people around you and yourself. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me today, and don't forget to smile. Bye!
Pioneer Day is just around the corner, And a lot of you probably don't know why we celebrate Pioneer Day, or maybe you would like to know more about it. Well, I'm here to teach you all about Pioneer Day and the first pioneers to this area. So sit back, relax, and join me on this adventure. Now, I just saw some pioneers ride past me, so we must have landed on July 24th, 1847, when the first of the Utah pioneers completed their 1,000-mile trip, led by Brigham Young. These guys were the first Mormon pioneers to make this trip, and after walking for almost 2,000 miles, they arrived here in the Great Salt Lake Valley. These pioneers left their settlement in Nauvoo, Illinois, and came west seeking religious and political freedom. Their journey here was not a nice one. It took them 17 months to get to this valley, and they experienced many hardships. When they finally arrived, the first thing they did was plant turnips and potatoes. If they only planted potatoes, we could have been Idaho. The settlers declared the land as sacred and sent back word that their promised land had been found, and thousands of people followed. You may be wondering why we still celebrate Pioneer Day almost 180 years later. The reason why we celebrate Pioneer Day with games and music, speeches, parades, rodeos, and picnics is to remember the bravery of the original settlers. Back to Elizabeth and Kelly to end the show and take us back to our own time.
Well, Kelly, we made it all the way back to 2020.
Thank goodness. We did a lot of time traveling today. I'm exhausted.
Well, make sure you get a good night of sleep because we've got another busy day of time travel tomorrow.
All right.
We hope you guys enjoyed learning all about the history of our country. Be sure to leave a comment down below and tell us which facts surprised you the most.
And don't forget to check the link outs to do Pound with Becky and try cooking with Kate.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Adios, amigos.